我们用第一视角感受一下三角洲黑鹰坠落的残酷。
I never thought this day would end in such a way, not with a hero's return, but with a farewell to my comrades amidst the ruins and smoke of the city. I am Special Forces Soldier Class, a machine gunner aboard a Black Hawk helicopter. That day, we were sent on a simple mission, or so it seemed. A special ops team sent to capture a high-ranking official of 8ID had encountered some trouble, and one of their Black Hawk helicopters was shot down. Our mission was to provide fire support for the rescue and evacuation of the ground team at the crash site. Everything started off smoothly. We flew into Mogadishu, the Black Hawk helicopter circling low over the city. The view became clearer. The streets, buildings, and the dust-filled air. It may have sounded like a scene from a movie, but we all knew this was the real battlefield. The mission was simple. Get to the crash site quickly, provide fire support, and protect the ground team. During their evacuation, upon reaching the mission area, the pilot skillfully maneuvered the helicopter between streets and buildings. The chaos was overwhelming. Enemies were everywhere on the rooftops. Gunshots, explosions, and the screech of RPGs filled the air. My heart was pounding, and everything around me was perilous. But I knew we could only push forward. There was no retreat. Cover the left side. They're firing from the rooftops, Mike shouted. Luckily, our pilot was skilled enough to dodge many RPG attacks. I gripped the machine gun tightly, my eyes locked on the enemies below. The sound of gunfire and explosions mixed together as my heartbeat quickened. Yet, I still felt lucky, as though everything was still under control. However, luck wouldn't stay on our side for long. Just as I was about to open fire, the helicopter jolted violently, and a tremendous shockwave hit the tail. Before I could react, the entire helicopter lost balance. It began to plummet rapidly, and all the instruments in the cockpit lit up with red warning lights. The cabin was in chaos. Pilot Mike struggled to control the aircraft, but with the intense fire coming at us from all directions, we were unable to avoid the crash. Mike, what do we do? He could feel the panic in the co-pilot's voice, but Mike didn't panic. He gripped the control stick with all his strength, desperately trying to stabilize the aircraft. Still, our fate could not be changed. The helicopter stalled quickly, and everything around me became blurry. The dizziness overwhelmed me, and I saw the city below growing nearer, almost within reach. Then came the deafening crash. Boom! Everything shattered in that moment. After a dizzying sensation, I regained consciousness, but the intense pain made me lose awareness once again. My back, chest, and even my fingers were in excruciating pain. The air was filled with the smell of burning, and fire and smoke engulfed me. I could hear the sound of mechanical parts snapping, but at that moment, I couldn't afford to focus on the pain. I heard shouting in the distance, enemy voices. They were coming. I knew we had little time. I struggled to climb to my feet, trying to clear my mind. The radio crackled with a message. Hold your position. Reinforcements are on the way. It was the voice of my comrades. They hadn't given up on us. Thank God. Thank them. I gritted my teeth and forced myself to stand. Despite the pain that nearly broke me, the enemies were getting closer, their voices growing louder. Hang in there, I told myself. Despite my growing sense of hopelessness, my comrades and I held our ground as best we could, using the terrain to form Asmel defensive line. The ammo was running low, more and more so, and all that was left was our resolve. The radio's voice grew fainter, and I heard the last few orders. Reinforcements. Almost there. The words trailed off, as though the radio itself was fading. The silence of death began to seep into our world. Minutes passed, then 10 minutes' time stretched on unbearably, slowly. I stared at the remaining rounds of ammunition, watching the last few bullets slip away. Every shot fired brought me closer to death. My breath became shallow, my fingers trembling with tension, and images of my wife and child filled my mind. The last bullet was spent, and I still held the machine gun, staring ahead into the emptiness. There was nothing left to think about, only the memories of my wife's smile and my child's face. I felt an overwhelming sense of regret. Regret that I hadn't spent more time with them. Regret that I wouldn't survive to return. I knew then that rescue wouldn't come. Reinforcements wouldn't arrive. Yes, I knew my fate. I heard footsteps growing closer, louder. I lowered my head, looking around the ruins, silently saying goodbye. I no longer feared them. I thought only of them, my beautiful wife, and the child still playing in the dirt. Everything in that moment became so clear, as if I had already accepted the unknown that was to come. These people, whether men or monsters, I couldn't know, but I knew they were getting closer, closer still. My eyelids grew heavy, and in the end, all light vanished into darkness.